We'll call the Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Barry?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Bo is absent. David?
Here. We have a quorum. We'll proceed. Everybody please rise for the pledge. Okay, consent agenda. What are the wishes?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Motion carried. First thing, item D is going to be a public hearing for Jorstad section line closure. We'll open the public hearing for the section line closure. Is there anybody that has anything they want to say about the section line closure? Yeah, if you do, come on up, introduce yourself for the record.
Brent Jorstad. Guess my dad owns the land on both sides and in the process of possibly building a house in one section. Guess we'd just like to get it closed on both ends, the north end and the south end. There's deep coulees. So
No road or anything there.
there's no road there now. I don't think it would take a lot of dirt work to ever build a road. There is access to the land on the south that's owned by the neighbor, Elaine, from the south and the east. So, I guess that's.
Okay, has anybody got any questions for Brent, guys?
Yeah, is this gonna be the full mile, or is this just the north half mile?
That is the
right?
full mile. Elaine Seidel has also signed the petition to. Yep. She's agreed and signed and.
Got any other questions? Got anything else to add, Brent?
I guess I.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? I could see you're getting fidgety, ready to come up.
No, I just wanted to remind you that under North Dakota Code 240703, you're allowed to close the section line, but you also have to find a public benefit in doing it. So I just want to make sure you discuss that and you make that finding. So, thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Anybody else wish to speak on the section line closure? I think before I close the public hearing, we'll wait till they get it pulled up so we can see it on the big screen up top. Everybody got a pretty good idea where it's at?
You said from the south.
Yeah, you come into that field from the south end, right? So anybody have anything else they want to add before I close the public hearing? Okay, public hearing's been closed. Turn it over to the board.
How do we define a public benefit for closing a, what would be a good example of that?
Maybe Karen could come and give us an example of that.
Generally, a public benefit has got to be something that benefits sort of the public in general. The last time you closed a section line, I believe you found a public benefit because they were arguing that you don't have to improve that road, maintain that road.
That sounds like a great reason. 'Cause that would be, there is no road.
Then we don't have to build a road.
That's right. Sounds good too. I would make a motion to go ahead with the closure with the public benefit of not having to build a road on that section line or maintain public access on that section line because it looks like it'd be miserable.
We have a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second for discussion, I guess.
Okay, motion and second for discussion.
Well, I think, I agree that there, very slim likelihood of ever being a road there, but if that's the case, we're gonna close everyone?
Are those, Mr. George, those coulees such a fact that it would be almost impossible to build a road through there, in your opinion?
Can I throw this out there? There's no such thing as impossible, but it would cost a lot.
David Jorsted, it would be next to impossible. It's pretty, especially on the north end, it's really steep going down and the creek at the bottom.
Well, a bridge to nowhere then, how's that?
Yeah. And as a part of the discussion, since you're up there, could you expand on why you want the section line closed?
Well, he wants to build a house and I think he might want to be closer to the section line than what you normally are. What is your
The setbacks?
33 feet, 66 feet? Yeah.
For a building, I believe it's 130.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Well, there is a motion on the floor in a second, so if there is no further discussion, roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
No.
Motion carried. Now we will go to Family Crisis Shelter funding request.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Early in the morning for me, by the way. I'm Lana Bonnet. I'm the director of Family Crisis Shelter. Just looking at the names. This is Chrissy Bozer. She's my human trafficking advocate. I think it's just you guys got my little talking points here. I'm not going to go through all of them because
Could you get closer to the mic?
Sure,
Because
it would
I don't
be-
hear very good.
it would be too long. Is that better? Okay. So first of all, I just want everyone to know that we're not only DV, like domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking. Our shelter has become homeless, mental health, and substance abuse as well. So we kind of are carrying a full load here. And our funding is limited. We are receiving grants, federal and state grants. We do receive some donations. However, since COVID, our donations have diminished greatly. Like, we see very little donations anymore, so it's been tough. Our numbers have changed a little bit too. I had my assistant director go over the stats because I just gotten over COVID when I did it, and I should have done a disclaimer when COVID kind of kicked my brain. And it still has. I'm still like searching for words all the time. I'm always asking Chrissy, what's the word? So I guess that being said, our let me go over to here. Budget has remained the same since we were on 723 Main, which was a one apartment, one bathroom building that we literally served. I hate to say this to you guys, but we probably had 15, 17 people in there at a time, and we had to open our downstairs. So we're kind of running on the same budget. So this being a 30 person, probably 30, I say 28 to 30 people that we can fit in this shelter. The cost, the upkeep, everything, it's just immense. It's immense. And I'm struggling, I'm stressing, I'm like getting more gray hair, more wrinkles, and I'm like really looking for funding somewhere. McKenzie County has upped our funding, and it seems like when I ask it, every year they send me an up. What are you requesting? I'll tell them what I'm requesting, and I receive that. So I'm just hoping that perhaps we could get a little bit more from Williams County.
Can somebody refresh me and tell me
Yeah.
what it is that we get from?
Right.
Will you get from?
So
them?
right now, we're getting 10,000 a year from Williams County. And right now, we're getting 65,000 from McKenzie County. The reason we're getting so much from McKenzie, normally they give us $35,000, $40,000, but we hired a new advocate, and so they gave us extra money to help pay for the advocate in Watford City, because we have two advocates in Watford City, and they're housed at the law enforcement center. But, so there's no rent or anything, it's just the cost of the staff.
Gotcha. There's no housing in McKenzie County, is there?
No.
Everything, the shelter is all maintained here in
Our
Williams.
shelter, we're the only shelter within a 130-mile radius of, anywhere else. And so that, we serve Williams, McKenzie, and Divide. Like I said before, and I'm just going to kind of update a little bit on this too, it's like, domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, homelessness, mental health, and substance abuse. It's like, I feel like it's not just our issue. I feel like it's the community's issue. And I just feel like we are the people, which that's what we want to be, but we need help. We just need help.
What's your total budget?
Our total budget is, I was going to bring that and I forgot it, $594,600, I do believe, to operate the shelter. And I would love it if you guys would love to stop at any time, just come in. I think, Steve, you've seen our shelter. It's huge. So, which we're so thankful for, but we need help.
When was it built, just for their benefit?
2017. Yeah. We started in 2015 purchasing the land and building the shelter. And I was able to get grants to help build the shelter, but we did have to come up with some funding, like $1 million to build it. So
It's a beautiful facility and
it's very large.
well used.
Yes. And it's very full all the time.
Are you getting any assistance, Lana, from the city of Williston?
Very little.
Okay.
Yeah. They assess fees they're supposed to assess like a $25 fee to everyone, I guess. I don't know if it's just domestic violence or if it's to everyone. They assess this fee, but I don't think they do it because we just don't receive it. So
Just,
that's my next stop.
just briefly reading through your information that's been provided, it looks like to me that your services have changed dramatically more towards behavioral health. Is that correct or not?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Our mental health, because of the mental health, facilities have closed. We just now have the one Northwest. We did have the CRU unit, which has closed. So it's us. It's us. And, you know, I mean, we will not turn people away. If they need us, we're there. And we try to serve as many people as we can, so.
So you're serving pretty much all of Williams County and McKenzie County?
Mackenzie and Divide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, we have I don't know, Lindsay, did you put this in our packet? There's a second amendment to the Williams County Behavioral Health Grant Agreement? I'm sorry? I don't know, I got mine in black and white, sorry, Corey. You want to see it?
Yeah. Is it on the agenda? It's not on the agenda, is it? Where? Copy that, all right. There was my confusion.
Yeah, it's for Volk Human Services, not for
Right.
Family Crisis Shelter.
It's the next item.
We do have an existing agreement.
I just saw Family Crisis Shelter, and I went to the next page and I saw the amendment, so I'm sorry, I thought it was,
We do have an existing agreement for our funding. We certainly can review how much.
yes, we do, because I think we've been giving you yearly amounts of, was 10,000?
10,000.
Okay.
And we appreciate that. I don't want you guys to think we don't appreciate it, because we certainly do. It helps immensely as well.
I don't know if this will help clear things up at all or not, but yeah, the amendment for Dr. Volk's behavioral health agreement is a separate topic. That's not related to this one. And then the Family Crisis Shelter is on our list of discussion for the budget hearings with regards to grants and where dollars are going.
My apologies.
That being
As
said,
Steve said, it doesn't mean that we can't change it.
right,
I would make a motion, Mr. Chairman, if we can, to, with all that they're doing, and it's a valuable service to our community, I would make a motion that we change our agreement with them at this time to $100,000.
And I will say thank you for making that motion. Is there a second? Because to me, this one, the things they're doing for the community it's,
second,
thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Corey,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve.
yes.
Motion carried. Will that help?
Oh, I like almost fainted.
You did a great job, got through the COVID fog, and you got all your words right, so thank you for everything you guys are doing. This is, it's an incredible thing you do for the community, so keep it up. I
Absolutely.
hope it helps.
Thank you.
If you have one less gray hair, Lana, you're welcome.
Thank you. I probably will. Thanks.
Okay, now, I think Lindsay, you can come back up and we will talk about Volk Human Services. Gonna get your steps in today.
Yes, so on the agenda is a second amendment for Dr. Volk from Volk Human Services for his behavioral health agreement. It's with regards to him wanting to hire an additional psychologist. This was part of his application, part of an approved expense. It's just that, as we all know, hiring in this area is difficult. The first amendment that you all had accepted for him extended it till May 1st, but he's only now been able to secure that individual who will hopefully start this summer. So the request is to extend that so he can still expend the funds with that higher date being on or before August 31st of this year.
Sounds pretty simple to me.
I would make a motion, Mr. Chair, to extend that funding request.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes, motion carried.
Thanks.
Did I miss any department heads before I have Helen come up? Dennis, you got anything for us? It's way better to see you in person than on the phone, because that seemed to be a struggle for us. It was probably my fault. I don't know if I was pushing the wrong buttons. Helen, we're up to you.
Good morning. All right, I'm requesting on behalf of the sheriff filling a patrol deputy position. This is actually, we don't have anyone leaving. We just have had some folks go and had some transition, and we hadn't yet planned to fill this one, but now we're ready to fill it.
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then we have an open seat, or a term that ended or will be ending on the annexation board, officially called the School District Annexations, Dissolutions, and Reorganizations Board. It's Ryan Geltel, the seat that Ryan Geltel has been in, and Ryan is interested in serving again. We advertised the job for the standard 60 days. Nobody applied, and so we're looking for Ryan to be reappointed.
I'd make a motion to reappoint Ryan Geltel for a term of 7/1/2022 through 6/30/2027.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Whew. Well, I guess that's it. We will adjourn. Karen, can you stop by before you leave?